We're calling to open the Auburn Housing Committee meeting for March 1st at 3:30. And could everybody get up and pledge allegiance to the flag? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first we start with public comment.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
Mark Brown, Town Meeting Member, Precinct 4. You're going to put a memorial at Pheasant Court. I'd like to see it put like a granite bench. And also up here, you're going to be doing another one up at Stoneville. Put a granite bench up here for that person. And also, you ever think about we make the keys go to a card system. You slide a card in, and if someone gets lost, it says Auburn Housing Authority on it.
No, we haven't thought about the key thing. We have suggestions for a memorial at Pheasant Court.
I'd like to see a granite bench.
Well, we're going to have a vote. People have, it's an agenda item, so
Okay.
it's going to be coming up, whatever the committee decides what it will be. But thank you for your comments. Is that it, or you have more?
That's it.
That's it.
You might think of something else later on.
Hey, that was harmless field.
Yeah. Oh, nothing. No, I just thought of something.
Uh-oh.
That the buses do come up to, they stop at Auburn Street near St. Joseph's Church, won't go both ways, but you have to flag the bus down. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
That's it?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay, now we're going to discussion and vote to accept the minutes of the regular meeting held on January 5th, 2016.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
Okay, now who seconded it?
I did.
Alice?
I thought both people.
Well, maybe she did, but it is not working, so it is not working. It's cold. Yeah.
No discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Discussion and vote to accept the minutes of the regular meeting held February 2nd, 2016. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to accept it. What do you mean? February 2nd.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion and vote to accept the January check registers as presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
A second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Discussion and vote to sign the year-end financial statement as presented. Do I have a motion?
I have a motion.
A second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now stop. Please. Because we have to sign it.
You have to sign this one, okay? You
We
can
have
wait.
to sign it.
Sure.
Okay, so this is for the 689, and this is for the 400. And where you have to sign, it says Jim. Okay?
Mhm. Oh.
That's mine.
Uh,
Okay, you want this one?
No, one that we got.
With this? With the first one?
That goes with the other one. Yeah.
Just keep them together.
It's a one piece, the board signs, the other piece I sign. But I don't sign it until after you sign it.
this one.
I'm just waiting for you to sign because I don't want to do all this with that. Thank you. Discussion and vote to create a memorial site at Pheasant Court. I got a comment, then I'll open it up to the committee and go from there. As a discussion, I was agreed with was a flagpole that is not down at Pheasant Court now to be put up with a plaque on it. There's other options, a bench with a plaque on it, or a bush with a plaque on the bottom of it. But I think due to the fact that it's a housing, that the flagpole would be a better thing there, because we don't have a flagpole for one, and we can put a nice plaque on the flagpole.
Or on the grounds
Yes.
around
Yeah,
it.
and rounds around it, we can plant flowers around the flagpole.
Good.
But it's up to the committee if they got any other ideas, or,
I think that's an excellent idea, but I like the idea of the plaque on the ground in the garden rather than on the field.
okay. So I need to have a motion, whether, anybody else got any ideas? We heard from Mark, but I think the flagpole is the best way to go in this situation. Definitely, we don't have one down there.
The other thing, Mr. Chair, is make sure you put
Plus,
the,
it's for the child. What was that?
make sure you put the rope inside the pole like we did in the Veterans Corridor. Remember how we put the rope inside the pole?
Yeah.
So people couldn't steal it, the cranks?
I make a motion to have the flagpole with the plaque on the ground with garden around it.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye, thank you. And I think we may want, I know there was one reporter that was really interested on when it's gonna be done. And I think it may be good just to let her know about it, if she wants to come up when it's done and take a picture or whatever, that she can do so, if that's all right with the committee.
I don't have any problem with
Okay, so we'll talk to that girl. Or I will, it's up to you anyway. But I want to thank you for that, and glad everybody's on board with it. Discussion and vote to have speakers come in to discuss the 48-hour written notice. On this, we'd like to try to get some people in, but we don't want to get a whole stadium of people. We want to try to get Karen Polito for one, and we'll offer Mr. Baker to be there too, if he can. If he can, he can't. I would say our representatives, maybe Mike Moore and Paul Frost, since they're our direct communication with the State House. And anybody else who wants to add names or?
it. I'd like to add the police chief.
Good. Yep. Anybody else got any ideas or anybody they would like to see at the meeting?
What would you think of having a member of DHCD here?
We can do that too.
It's a state, that's a state.
DCF?
Right. DCH.
Albany Community Development. Now, are you thinking of having one meeting, inviting all these people, or having,
Without the federal side is what I was thinking, just the state side.
so you're gonna have one meeting and you're gonna invite all these people, as opposed to having a
Individual
meeting
meetings?
and having somebody, do you know what I mean?
Well, the
Well-
thing is, they're all involved with what happened there, and I think that because that is, that they should have input into it as to what we're gonna do to correct it.
I would agree to that, but if they can't make it,
Well, yeah.
we just can't give special recognition because we're gonna do this meeting with all of them. If they can make it, they can make it. If they can't, we'll discuss it. I got a card from Karen Polito's secretary and said, just give her a call whenever you want to have a meeting, so we're all set with that part of it.
As long as she's
And
available.
Paul and Mike, right. So, you got something in?
No, I don't know when you're planning on having this meeting, but I would
Not
suspect
sure.
that you're probably going to get a lot of representatives of the officials coming. Are you going to, how are you going to present this to the public officials? Are you going to send them some sort of a detailed letter saying this is what we're thinking about, this is what we'd like to talk to you about? We're inviting you to a public meeting to have a discussion about the specific topic, or
Discussion of a specific topic.
that's, okay, so that's what you're going to do?
This
If the
would-
committee wants.
I would like to see this done at a regular meeting.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right, so we wouldn't.
In other words, you don't
any
wanna have a special meeting?
No. I think it
Well,
should
we
be
can go
open
for next month.
So that
You
everybody
can,
sees it.
it's early enough, we can get it out there, they got a whole month. And if not, we'll do it the next month, but
Well, because you've got the preparation and
you are the
letters
director,
and
right?
whatnot.
We're advising you to contact these people.
No, it's just because I don't know what we've got lined up and when the inspectors are coming for everything else that's gonna be done. You know, we've got all these audits coming in that you mentioned at the last meeting, and that's.
Sorry, I'll work
what
with
to
you
make
to get
sure.
on it, okay?
No, but
That's not a problem.
what Ian was
I
saying, is
specifically say that, you
you
know,
gotta be clear on what it
Yes.
is we're looking for
Absolutely.
from them, so that they know up front. You know what I mean? So,
well, our main focus is the 48 hours.
But we also have to come up with an alternative, what we want.
Right. Yeah. It's just a general discussion for now and see what we can do to better the issue with the 48 hours because, you know, it's just not working out. And, you know, if you have a special circumstances that you need to go in before the 48 hours, in my opinion, you should have the right to do so. But if it's just a general day-to-day thing, I think you should give them 48 hours.
I think any time you have
That's
any
my-
reason to go in.
Right, that's what I'm
We
saying.
should be able to go in if there's an emergency type plan.
Right.
well,
And,
in the event of an emergency, if the roof was leaking or anything like that, we can go in.
But, I mean, when
This
you
is-
know there's a situation that's illegal,
right,
or such as overhousing, or there's or someone staying there that you know doesn't belong there, and you've been told that that person is there, if you see that, you can see a car go down there, you know that person is there, staying there, then we should be able to go in there.
well, the good thing is we are putting cameras in too, so that's gonna be a big plus. But that's what we're trying, go ahead, Ian.
No, I'm just thinking, I'm sure it's not just Auburn that has a concern about the 48-hour notice, and so, I don't know, I guess I'm wondering if maybe it would make sense, or maybe it's already been done, if there are other housing authorities within our general geographical area that are of a similar mindset, maybe we should communicate with other housing authorities, there's always strength in numbers, and then approach the state officials and say, look, this is where we're coming from, this is what we're thinking. Let them all know what page you're on, maybe, before you have them come to a meeting. And then maybe you could build more support from, if all of the housing authorities in a given senatorial or representative's district were all on the same page on the same issue. Because it's going to have to go through the legislature to change that law.
Right. At this point, I would just like to deal with what we're dealing with as our committee.
Yes.
If other people hear about this and want to get involved, they can always call the Auburn Housing. But at this point, I just want to get the officials together so we can at least have a discussion to get this moving
Well, at
and
least
go from there.
we could just get them in and let them know that this isn't working for us.
Right.
We could call other housing authorities and see if they're having a similar problem with it.
Yeah, you can
Is
call
that what
them.
you want?
No, I mean, I'm certainly not opposed to it. I think it's a great idea, but I just think that it's going to be hard to get that level of a meeting here on that one topic. I mean, I'm certainly not opposed to it. I just think that if you had, more people on the bandwagon with the same issue. But, I mean, that's obviously up to you.
Well, it's up to the committee the way they want to do it.
I don't think it's gonna be that hard a thing. I think we need to get them in, get it started, and then it may have to become bigger. We may have to get the state involved, we may have to get other housing authorities involved.
Right.
But first, to present our part of it, I know, Karen Guido, what's her title?
Lieutenant Governor.
It was Lieutenant, I was right. Anyway, she is an attorney, so she can certainly advise us where to go from there.
Right. And that, if you
and we
have,
want them
maybe if
to
you
help
have
us.
discussions about DCF, and we can put that in with it, if you want. We
Yes,
want to know the process
the protocol, yes.
is the way it's handled, the protocol of DCF. We can add that in.
I think that's a good idea. Because we don't want anything like this to ever happen again.
No. And we don't want DCF sending children to Auburn Housing when there's issues in the first place.
And I know it's supposed to be a privacy issue, but when people are placed like that and it involves the number of people that are supposed to be here, and we don't know that they're there, it creates all kinds of problems.
Yeah, because that privacy issue saved the child's life.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely not. And it was wrong, and people should have been punished for it, or whatever, but they never were.
Yeah.
But we also will be able
See the
to...
wheels turning.
That's all right, I'll help you out with it. That's not a problem. We'll get a hold of everybody. Anything else? Do you want to take a vote to do this, or? I think it'd probably be better.
I'm making a motion.
All in favor?
Can I just,
Sure you can.
could you just state
Yes.
what your motions with
Yes.
please?
That we ask these people in that we listed,
Mm-hmm.
and she's written them down, for the purpose of discussing the 48-hour notice, and also communications between DCF and housing authorities in Massachusetts.
Are you all set in?
Is that okay?
So we've got a
I
motion?
just wanted to know, because you just said,
No, that's fine.
I just wanted to know exactly what it was.
No. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you. Director's report.
We have one vacancy, actually we have two vacancies at Packet Shop Village in the state section. One of the vacancies has been filled with the transfer from Pheasant Court. And that was because in order to satisfy the household composition, there were no longer any children in a 3-bedroom. So she needed to be moved up to Packagug Village because she isn't that disabled. So that's where one of the vacancies was filled. And the second vacancy will be filled from the emergency list. We went through the veterans list, and all the veterans need a first floor that are on that list, as of right now. So we're gonna go to the emergency list and house somebody that can actually do a second floor. So that'll take care of the vacancies there. We do have a vacancy down at Pheasant Court, and that's also gonna be filled by somebody from the emergency list. Okay? And then all the other developments are full. The maintenance staff have been doing windows. As an apartment becomes vacant, they're going in and replacing the windows while they're doing that. I will be signing an agreement with an accountant that was recommended to do the state audit. And his name's Gary DePace, so we will be using, they came up with 3 attorneys, 3 accounting firms that we could use, and he was one of them. So we'll be using him. And he sent me kind of a preliminary package, so I have an idea of what specific things they're going to be looking at, which is good because it should clean up a lot of the things that housing authority seem to get in trouble for, you know, like in the past. So they were it was pretty comprehensive list. So I had a conversation with him, he sent the packet over, so once I look through the packet, then I'll sign the agreement. And that'll be sometime late spring, early summer, that he'll be coming in. And then our budget got kicked back because Han didn't sign it. You voted to approve it, but all 5 of you need to sign it. So,
When she signs it, we'll be all set.
yep, and we'll kick it back in.
Now what are you doing? We're gonna re-sign it?
You're gonna just flip that over. Everything stays the same. I had to redo it, but all the information
Well,
stays.
the name's gotta be
Yeah,
redone.
the names all have to be redone. It said, one board member's signature is missing, all must sign, whether in a meeting or not. So she needs to sign it. And then on the second page, when Howie had done this, he had kind of clicked off 2 boxes instead of 1 box. So I had circled the box and they said no. So I had to reprint the thing out and then just check off the 1 box. So this is what they sent back.
Well, at least it's something simple, not drastic, right?
Right, but that's holding our money now. So I'll send this out overnight tomorrow, once it's all set. And they said that was the only problem with it, was the boxes were checked wrong, incorrectly, and,
We each have to sign the date on this too.
is there a date spot?
Well, he put a date
I
on
put
it.
a date on it.
I've already dated it, so it's not gonna
This is
happen.
the 1st of December.
put today?
No.
Oh,
Because it says sign the first date.
That was in December, that was when I used the meeting.
Right, I just said, I wouldn't do it, I would just leave it the way it is, because the vote was taken on December
All
1st.
right, I'll just sign it.
As soon as I sign, I did my, whatever I do.
I usually
They know
do
that
too.
we had to redo it, and there's more than
Well,
one.
not only that, if she's gonna
There's
sign it
more than
now,
one
she can put
page.
this date today, maybe on this one again, yes.
You did this one.
We don't want to do it again.
No, we won't be buying any cameras or anything else.
No? Oh, you didn't sign it either. Let's give it back to you.
I missed them out. There's 3 of them then.
Those
I
flags,
thought there was only 2.
so they stick out, yeah.
Judy?
I never saw that. The third page.
She didn't sign this.
She didn't?
I can sign this. And gotta sign that one too on the third page.
We just have to make sure that we sign it the right way, so that it doesn't get kicked back again.
This one.
Make sure it's.
And we're holding off on the cameras at Pheasant Court till this gets approved. And we had a pole that was taken out, so now, we have to order the pole back in, because that's where the cameras go in on the poles. So we need all the poles in place before they
Yes.
can put the cameras in. So that'll take care of that.
Approximately when will the cameras be going in?
I have no idea, because they haven't approved the budget to spend the money.
Okay.
Well, if we don't hear from them shortly, maybe we can call them and check on it. If you don't want to do it, I'll do it.
No, I'll do it. But I gotta make sure I have everything in the right way before I start
Oh, yeah, oh, no.
saying, oh, right away.
Yeah.
There's only two around. There's only two around.
All right, well, I gave it back to him to sign.
I get all what to do.
So then, what else is going on? We're gonna do quarterly inspections, and I was hoping that the first inspection would be done by a professional company that we've used in the past, but it looks like they're not gonna be able to come in until April. So we may do one in March prior to that. If not, then it depends on how early in April they can come out. But I thought that if we did a professional inspection, which would be a third party coming in inspecting the units impartially, then if we go in and do a maintenance inspection where we can check the inventory to see the condition of the appliances and all that, then we can go back in and do a housekeeping inspection. And then the last inspection hopefully will be with the fire department to look for any fire
That's
hazards.
good.
So that there'll be a reason for each inspection that we perform. But one of them will be done by an independent contractor. We've used them in the past and I'm going to use them again. And that way nobody can say we're picking on them because we didn't.
Not only that, they may pick up something that we miss, so that we can make sure
Right.
everything
Oh,
is
yeah.
done.
Definitely. More inspections are better, right?
So that's that, and we'll be contracting to have the catch basins cleaned, because we need to do that twice a year. So all the catch basins will be cleaned. And then we're gonna have the fire alarms tested and the fire extinguishers tested. So we have to get quotes on all those different things. But that'll be coming up. And then, just the work items, if we can get the environmental review signed, how to spread the money in the budget so that we can move forward with the capital items that we have in place. And that'll cover the cameras for Stoneville and Pine Brook, because I wrote those into the grants. You know, so, until we get the money pieces straightened out, that's it.
Well, that shouldn't take too long now. You've already seen them, I'll just send it back, signed, quickly sent back.
You know, overnight everything. And they're waiting for this stuff. They knew you were meeting today. They knew that I had, planned to ask you to sign the stuff. And then we'll just go. But they have everything, and there wasn't an issue with anything. It was just the signatures.
Okay.
So that's it.
Good. Any member items? Yeah,
I just had a question. I was wondering, since I wasn't able to attend, if you wanted to discuss or share what happened at the meeting when Carol Blair came here about the housing, the grant. She came to the town.
Oh, that
Karen
was-
Plato.
Karen Plato.
You weren't there. Yeah, you were. You were there.
I wasn't sure who was there. I said there were members of the housing authority
All
there.
they all,
Well, I was at work, so I just was
Right.
wondering what happened and, you know, what did you learn from
Well, basically,
what they're gonna provide?
they didn't specifically tell us what they're gonna provide, either service or money or anything at this point. It's just a grant to give you the authorization to go for grants outside of that grant and get more money that way too. It's part of a group.
One of the items was for a housing plan.
Yes, one was
And
housing, school,
Right,
and
there were three elements
Right,
to it.
and one was early
Early
education.
education.
And
housing.
and
There
housing.
was something for the selectmen, I don't know about that.
But there weren't any dollar, they didn't know about the dollar amounts. But the housing plan, which was why the housing authority was included, is gonna be accomplished through that grant. But they just didn't know, like, we did get the grant, but she wasn't sure how much money, right? I mean,
Right.
that's the way I.
There was no money.
So was there, does anyone know, like, when more information would be available on?
No, I would think we'd have to probably contact Julie Jacobson, the town manager, and go from there. But as far as I understand it, she's on hold too. Everybody's on hold until they come out with it, and they just haven't come out with it yet. So,
Did you
in other
know?
words, we signed up for that group,
Right.
and now we
That's
can
that
go
compact
band out and go
baby
get
thing.
grants here, there, and there. Where if you didn't go to that group, you would be getting these other ones too. So it's the
So that's-
mixture of going.
So that just
to-
gives you the approval to search out other grant opportunities?
Right, that too, yes, that's part of it.
Now, did you see the last selectmen's meeting? You know, they're going to go out to, they're going to put the Jimmy Bancroft and Mary D. Stone School out to bid proposals for both schools. That's what they said.
Well, that's nice, they told us.
So I just was watching the meeting. That's the only way I knew.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of curious. I don't know when they're going out to bid.
And I think they're looking at housing from what I heard, that by Whitney Golf House.
No, private developers.
Well, private, yeah, that might work too. but, You know, the thing is you try to cooperate with the town, and the town doesn't cooperate back. We're supposed to
And I
get
don't-
all into this together to make things work.
Well, that's why I was
The
curious as
housing,
to.
and they doing things behind your back.
Well, first of all, I don't know I don't know if we could be a bidder, I don't know if we're in a position to be a bidder. But I didn't know
Oh, we
what
wouldn't be a
transpired
bidder.
at that meeting, you know, that signing ceremony that you all went to.
Nice.
We don't have any
The
money to
signing
do.
ceremony was televised though.
Yes,
Yes, it was.
I don't know.
The signing ceremony was
It was
televised.
taped, okay.
it hasn't been on yet.
Yes, it has.
Has it been on?
Yeah, it's on. It's
Okay,
on
so
there.
that one you can see,
Okay.
but the reuse committee meeting was not.
When yeah, because the administration went to the reuse committee, they asked them to have a meeting to take a vote on what to do about the schools.
But that
Right
was.
before the last selection meeting. It was not. And that meeting brought forth the recommendation to go out to bid. That's what the town.
I wasn't invited to that meeting, so.
But
You
no,
should have been.
I only knew about it because I watched the meeting, the selectmen's meeting.
Not only that, if, you know, before we could even accept something from the town, we would have to vote on it, and we would have to know more about it in order to vote as to what would have to
Well,
be
that's what I'm
done on the
saying.
property, how big it is, et cetera, in order to, you know, what they were going to give, whether they're going to give the whole school or just part of the school.
Well, we would
So,
have to partner with
That's what I'm
somebody
saying.
Right.
anyway,
In order for
because
us to
we
do it.
can't use
No.
our funds.
We have no funds to do it.
I mean, we could use our. credit
But that's what that
not our
grant's supposed to
funds.
help us with.
Well, that's why we were supposed to get this housing plan, I thought, to move
Right.
forward
Right.
with the needs assessment and all the rest of it.
Well,
But it's costing $46,000 a
To
year
maintain
to
the
maintain
schools,
those
right.
buildings. So they're gonna be in a push to get
Rid of them.
And it would take us a while to get everything approved through the
We
state. and
can't do
everything
anything
else.
without a housing plan.
Right.
Right.
And I
Well-
thought that was part of the,
I thought so too. Yeah, it was very interesting.
Well, I don't know,
But
if
you
they're
know
not
what,
contacting
there are-
us.
there are other locations in town
Yep.
that, you know, so if somebody can come in and bid on Judy Bancroft and Mary D, and we get some housing out of that, then that's a good thing. Any housing that we can get for the town is a good thing.
And they did say that they're looking at probably over 55 proposals, so that would be a good thing.
Which would be advantageous to the community.
Right.
It might not directly impact the housing authority, because when Kateri went in, there were only 2 people that
Right.
left
Yes.
our list to go to Kateri.
Right.
So it didn't impact us that way. So if we have additional housing come in, they may or may not be on our list, but there's really not much we can do. Without a housing plan, nobody's even gonna look at us.
And even though it's over 55, you know, we unless it was a non-elderly disabled person, we wouldn't be able to house that person anyway.
Right.
So I just was kind of curious as to.
So it doesn't help us see as much the,
Well, just kind of
They're on our
disappointing, we
list.
didn't, you know, talk to the committee and let us know what they had planned.
Yeah, I was kind
We
of
have to hear
surprised.
it, you know.
But it doesn't mean that it's, that anything's gonna, that's written in stone either.
Well, I understand that, but still,
But there are other pieces
we could have been at that meeting.
in town that, you know, the town has that we made, but without a housing plan, that's our first step. We can't do anything.
And that grant's gonna pay for it.
And the grants
and
gonna
then
take
put
care
into
of the
that, and
housing
that's good.
plan, which was great, and I was really happy that she invited the board to that meeting. It was unfortunate that you couldn't go in because you had to work, but I mean, it was very nice of her to include us
Yes.
in that meeting.
And the thing is, it showed that we cared enough, because the rest of the members went, and you went as a director.
Right.
So it's not that we're not willing to go to these meetings,
No.
we are.
We had great attendance. So, but without the housing plan, that's our first step.
Right.
And the fact that this grant should provide for that
Right.
is a big thing for us.
Yes.
So it's not clear whether they'll provide technical assistance or money to do the plan, just that they'll provide something to do to help with the plan.
I don't think they spelled that,
They didn't spell it
So we just have
out.
to wait and find
They
out.
did not spell it out.
but there, I mean, when I went to that meeting at the state, there are things in place to help do the plan. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
But we had to get that application through, you know that. Once we get the application through, then we can go wherever we need to go for grants. Or part of that grant, or whatever it materializes, but it still gives you the option to go to get other grants. So we just still have to wait and see.
That was just like Auburn getting the green community designation allowed, it opened doors to apply for other grants.
Exactly, that's what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
That's what I was just gonna say, it benefits the 3 groups that were involved,
Right.
it benefits the whole town.
It was just really nice that the housing authority was
Yes.
Invited.
included. You know, I thought that was great, and we're just gonna keep moving forward. We're not gonna give up. We certainly can show the need to whoever,
Oh, definitely.
We got the need, we got the numbers to prove it to
we
them.
have the numbers to prove it. So if anybody wants to use the numbers, as long as the residents of the town of Auburn benefit from the housing, then
That's,
we'll do whatever we can
Yep,
to help it out. But I mean, we have to have a partner in order to move forward
Right.
with any housing that would directly impact our list. But that's not to say that anybody that decides to bid on those properties would ultimately want to partner with us either.
that's right.
Do you know what I mean? So we're just gonna have to be
Keep our options
positive,
open.
keep our ears open to see how this whole thing plays out, and we'll go from there.
yep.
It's all positive.
You got anything else? No? Oh, we're on numbers items anyway. Anybody got anything else? Joyce, you've been off a while.
I'm taking all in.
Do we have any more public comment?
Yeah, yes, Mr. Chairman. Where is your 21 East site? In House Authority.
21A,
E21E, Jaeger hazardous chemicals or something you just talking about? That's what I call it.
No,
Your hazardous stuff?
we don't have that, what you're talking about.
What do you have then?
Huh?
What do you have? It says like asbestos or lead paint or what? Do you have lead paint or asbestos?
No, we do not.
No, we were checked for that recently, and no, we don't.
You said hazardous stuff, so that was what I was wondering.
No, it's all set, Mark.
That's good. Those are expensive items.
Oh, very, you know, we went to high school.
Oh, every time you turn around, you hit. Let's not go there.
Yeah, I know. But,
That's it.
anything else?
That's it.
That's it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I,
He wants to give me a heart attack.
does anybody else got anything to say, or if not, I need a motion to adjourn?
Next meeting.
So moved.
Second.
You need next meeting?
Huh?
Yeah, next meeting.
We'll get to that. Don't mind.
I think he's bucking for your job.
No, when he can keep his job.
It'd be April 5th at 3:30 here. You're welcome to come, Mark,
Oh, thank you.
and everybody else, of course.
Well, I got for quiet today.
Yeah.
So we had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Everybody agrees. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Have a wonderful one.